The goal of ongoing media, mainly TV shows, games, and movies, is to encourage people to talk about it. And that's what created both the internet's most popular, but also its most hated topic. Yep, this is a video about fan theories. So let's waste no time and get into it. These are probably my least favorite kind of theories. Fabrication theories. I'm sure you've probably heard of these. It's that none of it was real or it was all a dream theory kind of thing. So much so that whenever I hear this kind of theory, I immediately go in the back of my head and try to think of my own theory to debunk that one and try and say that it must have all been real. Anyway, let's get into a few of them. These are both some of the most popular ones and just ones that are about franchises that I like. So let's start with it. This one is probably the most popular dream theory of all time, saying that all of Five Nights at Freddy's has actually been a dream dreamed up by the crying child in Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Damn, that is the fastest I've ever spoken. But to be fair, I completely hate this theory. I will say that possibly Five Nights at Freddy's 4 could be a dream, but that's only because, look at those things, no one would, no one but William Afton would make those things. But yeah, thankfully, by the time Sister Location came out, the dream theory was thankfully debunked. Another one like this is that The Simpsons has never actually been real, since Homer got into a coma at the end of a 1993 episode, and he never actually woke up, and every single Simpsons episode after this one has been a very long and painfully unfunny dream. What if Bendy and the Ink Machine never actually happened, and is instead a book written by Joey Drew to tell to his niece? If that is true, I'd be very concerned what parent would let Joey tell their 5-year-old niece a story like Bendy. Thankfully, just like the dream theory in Five Nights at Freddy's, this theory was also debunked by a sequel game. What if Jason was just a campfire story and not a single Friday the 13th has actually been real after the first one? I'm pretty sure you might have heard this one before, but what if Luigi is actually dead in Luigi's mansion and he's just a ghost wandering around his own mansion? This might be evident by, well, the shadow in this picture, and I'm not going to explain it because I'll get demonetized, but yeah, this theory says that Luigi is actually dead. There's also a theory in Luigi's mansion that Bowser is actually dead, but, I'm just going to put it in the same one because I'm too lazy. So, there's two Luigi's Mansion theories here saying that both Luigi is dead and Bowser is dead. What if all the Harry Potter movies were never real and instead just a fantasy conjured up by a kid living under the stairs? And another one I'm sure you've probably heard, the one that Link is dead in Majora's Mask and the whole game is actually representative of the 5 stages of grief. Anyway, enough of that crap, onto the good stuff. I'm gonna put these two together because, they're basically the same thing. Or at least they're very, very similar. But, headcanons, just people filling in little bits of the backstory that don't need to be explained but are cool anyway. And for the crossover ones, they're basically saying this and this might be in the same universe, or possibly this character's backstory is actually in another movie. These are some of my favorites, so let's actually get into some of the good ones. This one's one of my favorites. It says that Fight Club is actually the secret origin story to Heath Ledger's Joker. Honestly, yeah, a lot of stuff actually matches up, especially with the ending where the guy, he gets a bit of his cheek scarred, and that would finally answer the question. You wanna know how I got these scars? Anyway, so, yeah, for, as far as the fan theories go, I don't hate this one. This one's actually pretty good. Here's an interesting one I found. Says that Victor from Frankenweenie is actually the same Victor as in The Corpse Bride, who later dies and becomes Jack Skellington. I mean, I love Tim Burton movies, but yeah, that one's kind of pushing it a little bit. Here's another one that pushes it a bit too far, I think. It says that Kevin from Home Alone grows up to be Jigsaw from Saw. Wait, this one has evidence to debunk it. I mean, come on. They both like traps? That's freaking stupid. Because, I mean, the ages don't match up here. Jigsaw's 50 in 2004 and Kevin is 8 in 1990. The age timeline just does not match up here, so no. Kevin is not Jigsaw. I mean, I haven't been debunking these theories, but this is the first one I'm actually going to just say, no, Kevin is not Jigsaw. This one's kind of messed up, but also pretty cool. It says that in Family Guy, Meg is actually Stewie's real mum, and Lois and Meg are just trying to cover that up from Chris and Peter. Brian, Meg, and Lois are the only ones who actually know that Meg is Stewie's real mum. This is also further supported by the fact that whenever we see Stewie's birth, it's always from his perspective, and we never actually see Lois or Meg. Unfortunately, recently there was an episode where we did see that Lois is giving birth to Stewie. So, unfortunately, no, Meg is not Stewie's real mum. Hey, it's fun to think about though, right? Here's an actually interesting one I found about Sonic. I know, shocker, right? It says that Metal Sonic is actually a roboticized version of Sonic from the future. That actually would explain a lot, because if Eggman is capable of making something like metal in the first place, why doesn't he just do that with all his other robots? This one, you know what, I actually kind of like this one. You know what, this one gets a pass, because, you know what, it actually fills in one of the stupidest parts about Sonic, and, I mean, I do still like Sonic, but let's be honest, it's Sonic, there are a lot of stupid things going on. This one's one of my favourites because it makes my emo-ness happy. It says that after the first Shrek and, what's his name, Lord Farquaad died, all the fairy tale creatures went into Duloc and killed everybody as revenge. This explains why in the Halloween special, Scared Shrekless, it's completely abandoned. Maybe because a bunch of fairy tale creatures slaughtered everyone in there, and Shrek and Donkey had no idea what was going on. Then again, this is Shrek. These movies are messed up. Okay, one last one to ruin your childhood. It says that the reason Wall-E is the only functional robot on Earth is because he cannibalized all the other ones. Sweet dreams, kids. Okay, this is rare, but it does sometimes happen. Sometimes a theory will actually come true. I've got like 3 of them. I told you it's rare, okay? So let's get into those 3. In the 2018 Halloween reboot sequel thing, it's heavily implied that Michael Myers wants to finish the job he left unfinished in the original by killing Laurie Strode. But really, he doesn't give a damn about Laurie and is instead just a murderous psychopath who kills anyone in his way. In Halloween Kills, that was confirmed that the characters only think Michael is fixated on them when really, you know, he's just doing his thing. One that took like 5 years to confirm is that Rey is actually the granddaughter of the Emperor in Star Wars. That was a theory we had all the way back in The Force Awakens, and it took like 5 years for Rise of Skywalker to come out and confirm that. I'll take a win where I can get it. And probably the most famous one of all time, that Mario 3 is a stage play. Yeah, that was confirmed, but that honestly kind of scares me, because does that have any implications for all the other Mario games? How much of it is real? I'm gonna go think that over for a bit and drive me insane. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye!